One of the biggest misconceptions that new homeschool parents have is that they need to do school between the hours of 8 a.m. all the way until 3 p.m. And that can be a stressful goal to reach. Maybe you're one of those parents looking for solutions and ways that you can adapt your school day. If you are, stick around. Hi, I'm Rebecca with the Parent Teacher Bridge, and today I'm going to share with you 4 simple ways that you can adapt your schedule and calendar with homeschooling to afford you more time with your family and less stress. Now, as long as you are fulfilling the homeschool requirements required by your particular state, homeschooling offers lots of flexibility, and sometimes new homeschool parents aren't aware of that if they haven't met too many other homeschool parents. Everybody homeschools a little bit differently, so your experience is going to be enriched the more homeschool parents you come in contact with to see what is it that they are doing, how much has their child learned. I think I want to imitate that person, or I think I need to adjust my schedule. That's what we're talking about today. Before we get started, click like and subscribe so you can be notified each time I upload a new video for your child's education. Number 1, have an alternate time for different subjects. So when I'm talking to an overwhelmed new homeschool parent and they're talking to me about how long everything is taking during the day, one of my first questions to ask them is, how much are you doing during the day? How much do you expect your child to do during the day? And if they tell me they're trying to do everything in every subject, I might talk to them about how they can switch on different days. For example, some homeschool parents might take a whole week and do science, and then the next week switch over and do a whole week with social studies, or they might alternate day on, day off. Sometimes in my homeschool, for those subjects, that subject may only be reading a book that's related to a unit we're covering. My child may never actually have to write anything down or do an actual worksheet or assignment. Their assignment may just be listening to me read and discussing it. Or even if we do a journal entry about it, one day they may be just drawing a picture on the topic while I read, and the next day they may write about it. Now, there are some subjects that I do pretty much every single day, unless it's that day of the week that we are gone with our homeschool group meeting at a different location. And those subjects that I do every day are reading, writing, and math. Now, I may not get as much time as I want every day. There are doctor's appointments, there are grocery store trips and other errands that do cut into our day, and we've got to be flexible with those, but consistency will pay off with those. So you don't want to find that you're skipping an entire week by not doing math, because it's going to build on itself, as does reading and writing. But you can adapt some different schedules by taking different subjects on different days. Number 2, evening versus morning. Now, some of you out there may have children who are living in a household where the parents are working very different schedules. I know that some people in my family have a parent who works overnight, like in the middle of the night. They have to go to bed early, and the child is still awake with the parent who's homeschooling. So they take advantage of some of their evenings to do things they didn't do during the day. The dad is home during the day. That's the time the child gets to visit with the dad. So they decide to kind of do a split in their day. They will do some homeschool work during the morning, and they won't do it all right then. They'll save some for the evening. Now, I've done this with my own child, even though we don't have a super crazy schedule. And sometimes I will let him do his reading in the evening. I can still listen to him read in the evening, but it's easier for me to do right before bed because it also calms him down. Think outside of the box with that. You don't have to go straight through with no breaks whatsoever. And some parents find that their children actually work better after they've gotten out their wiggles and played outside some. We homeschool. We have that flexibility. Hi, parents. Is your child struggling to read or even hates to read? Nothing you have tried has worked? Get my free guide, 5 quick tips to immediately help your struggling reader. I'm going to show you the simple tricks that I've used for years to successfully improve children's reading and their confidence in reading. It's easy, it's simple, and it's free. Just go to theparentteacherbridge.com/reading help. You can find that link in the description below. Number 3, make up time when other schools are out. Now, because I homeschool, there are things that I'm responsible for during the day that might cut into teaching my children, like errand running and cleaning the house, and all these other responsibilities get mixed in, and sometimes their schoolwork might take a back seat. Well, in order to compensate for that, we use other time throughout the year to catch up on that lost time. That might be summer break. Doesn't mean my children are working 8 to 3, 5 days a week, but it does mean we still continue to do a little bit of schoolwork over the summer. It might mean that your local school system is out for an entire week due to the flu or bad weather. You don't have to be out for that week, so it can give you a time to feel like you're catching up, so to speak. So think out of the box. I know for the first several years of homeschool, my child had no idea what a Saturday was and what a Saturday meant because I was so busy with a toddler and a baby, and there were times that I didn't get to do all the things I wanted to do with school during the week, and I would use my Saturday to catch up. So consider these things. You may want to adapt some of this to your own homeschool schedule. And number 4 is cycles. I've not tried this yet, but it sounded really interesting to me as I've heard other parents online talk about this. So, in a traditional school, they will release a calendar at the beginning of the year that includes all the school breaks, and people can plan their vacations and such like that. But we don't necessarily have to stick to that as homeschoolers. But some parents I know have come up with their own calendar where, let's say, they work for 6 weeks straight doing their school, and then they'll give their kids a week off, and it gives them a time to recharge or to do special household projects or even to have their vacation. Consider that. Maybe 6 weeks on, 1 week off isn't working for you. Maybe you'd rather do something different like 3 or 4 weeks. Maybe you'd rather give yourself 2 weeks off because you've got to go visit extended family across the United States, whatever it may be. Brainstorm some ideas that you can try to change your school year. All right, veteran homeschool parents that are watching this, what have I forgotten? Leave a comment below. I find that the more you talk with other homeschool parents, the more ideas you're going to get that you might like to try this year or even next school year. Don't forget my free guide, 5 quick tips to immediately help your struggling reader. You'll find that link in the description below, but you can also go to parentteacherbridge.com/reading help to get that. You can find the Parent Teacher Bridge on Facebook and Instagram. Remember, parents, you are your child's most influential teacher.